Not quite in range just yet, Batyrviev in this round. Pagara, let's go with a right hand. Just holding out that left hand to try and keep Batyrviev at bay, just to block his vision slightly. Batyrviev goes to the body and then just tries to curl that left hand in round the back there. Just turn the fist over, turn the knuckles over. Pagara out of range there. He's staying on the borderline at best. Batyrviev working to the body. He's not done anything at all yet, Albert Pagara, really. It is early, of course. Steps in and looks to let a 1-2 go there. I do wonder how ambitious he's going to be here, though, if I'm honest. Not putting too much on these punches, Batyrviev, just working those hands, moving those hands. He knows that there's not much coming back here from Pagara, who might just come back with the odd flurry. I think this may be what we see here when you've got an opponent who was looking to kind of tuck up, really not give an awful lot away, and then mount the odd attack. In other words, not be particularly ambitious. This is kind of what you get. He will throw the odd flurry because he wants to try and keep so into the third. Just dipping his knees there, Batyrviev, working down to the body, and he's using that reach, keeping this at distance. Good left hand there. Pagara steps in and throws the 1-2.
Head up, like, head up.
Иди на выходом, говорю. Давай в обратное место. Двойка живот. Двойка живот. Сюда на голову. Мотай. Спокойно. Живот. Живот.
Again, just
Like, head up.
switching up there, Batyrviev, and this is what he's doing so far. You can see he's not putting loads into these punches. He's just letting his hands go, and again he's looking for that left hand in round the back there. He's slinging it in, kind of lassoing it in, trying to find a gap around the back of that right glove to connect with the knuckles.
Stop!
Nice solid 1-2 there from Batyrviev, and that's backed him up. Pagara, I think, felt that one, unless he's just trying to sucker him into the corner, into the final minute of round 3. Trying to keep that guard high. The Filipino, left to the body from Batyrviev. Manages to find his way out of the corner eventually there, Pagara. And I think what we have here is what we had in the previous fight, and I suspected we might, which is a big difference in levels between these two fighters. Pagara, I think, will stick to his task in the way that Leon Half did to an extent, slightly different stylistically, but just as Gadjimagomedov was a lot better than Leon Half, Albert Batyrviev, I think it's quite apparent, is a lot better than Albert Pagara.
No low blow. No low blow goal.
A slight bruise or it's an actual cut, and it's difficult to know what it is, so that's often why you'll see a fighter dab with the glove and then look at the glove just to check. But there again, just nice economy from Batyrviev. Goes up to the head, then goes down to the body, and he sinks that head in between those big shoulders and makes himself quite a difficult target to find. And he'll know that he's probably booking in for a long job here because, well, Pagara just shaking up that left hand. Maybe there's a slight problem with that left arm now, and again, he's just been tattooed there by Batyrviev, who is going through the process here of trying to break his man down. If you're up against somebody who is looking to not give too much away and is more defensively minded, then what it means is they'll be braced for most of what you throw, and if a pro fighter is braced for punches, then they can generally take them and survive them, and that's why the variety of angle, of punch, of weight of punch is really important here for Batyrviev, because he's got to try and hit Pagara with something that he's not really ready for. So he has to dress it up in a way that he doesn't quite see it coming, or it crashes through with a bit more power than he's really expecting. Again, he just shakes out that lead hand there, Pagara. I think there is something wrong. Or it could be that he's laying the foundations for a retirement. Again, that might sound like a harsh thing to say, but he is getting worked over. Good jab. Smile there from Pagara. Touch of gloves between the two. Batyrviev doing what he needs to do here, and he's looking good doing it.
Твоя возврат правой руки. Левой сбоку, поэтому цепляет. Опять-таки живот прикармливай. Контролируй заднюю руку, левый сбоку контроль.
Группа компании «Садовое кольцо», федеральный девелопер, который России, Московской области, Татарстане и Подкарпатье.
Не задерживайся, только накрываться начинается и не вылазит через бок. Все, движение и угол, смена угла работы, смена угла работы.
На последние квартиры скидка 25%. Не упустите.
Well, this is the problem that we spoke about previously with that lead arm, with that left arm. And I did say that he'd been shaking it out, that there was an issue. And I did also say that possibly he was laying the foundation for a corner retirement, and that is what has happened. I'm not saying that the injury isn't genuine. I would not accuse the fighter of that, but he was up against it in there. He was only heading one way, and if there was also a problem with the left arm there, then rather than just tough this out for round upon round when you've only got one arm in operation and you're up against somebody who's quite simply a lot better than you, then the wise thing to do is to pull out, which is what has happened, and Batyrviev gets a very straight forward win. Conversation between the pair of them, always respect between fighters. He was supposed to fight Nicholas Walters, so Pagara came in at relatively short notice, so he needs to be thanked for taking the step up and making sure that Batyrviev was still able to box tonight. And when you looked at their respective records, you knew that there was a big difference between the two of them, and that has turned out to be a very straightforward outing for Albert Batyrviev.